Now, Newham has the second worst rate of COVID-related deaths in the country, but it's also been a catalyst for the younger generation to make a difference. Emmanuel and Eduardo Baltazar from Newham Collegiate Sixth Form were so moved by the efforts of the NHS that they went on to win a place to study medicine. Gosh, what kind of story's going on here? We need to find out. So we're going to talk to Emmanuel and Eduardo, as well as the principal of the college, Musin Ismail. Let's start with Emmanuel. How are you, Emmanuel?
Hello, sir. I'm fine.
So is Eduardo your twin? Yes,
indeed.
Oh, right. How are you feeling about becoming a nurse, a doctor, an anaesthetist? What is it that you're trying to do?
I'm trying to become a doctor right now. I feel really enthusiastic, but at the same time, I'm nervous about the responsibilities I'll have to take.
Yeah, you better be. It's good to be nervous about it because then you'll respect it. So tell me, when did the interest come in medicine?
So initially, I just had a passion for science. Uh-huh. And I thought that by doing medicine, I'll have the opportunity to both pursue science and make a contribution to my society. But then the pandemic hit so close home. We had people in our neighborhood even dying. So in that moment, I felt that the bravery of the NHS really shined through. I just found it inspirational how these doctors put their lives on the line for the sake of strangers while dealing with the loss of loved ones. And that's, in my opinion, like one of the biggest factors into going for medicine.
Yeah, it's interesting because, obviously we say clap for our heroes, but I didn't ever, my kids are big fans of superheroes, Marvel rather than DC, but I didn't know that it would encourage people in this way to want to do it. Might I speak to you, Eduardo?
Yeah, sure.
How are you?
Hi, thank you.
Where are you originally from, Eduardo?
So, I'm originally from India, but I lived most of my life in Italy.
Ah, how long have you been here then?
4 years.
So what stage are you at? And are you doing something different to your brother?
I'm actually doing the same course at the same uni as my brother.
Oh, for goodness sake. Why on earth would you do it? That means you're just going to be messing about with people's heads. What kind of twins are you? Are you identical?
Identical, yeah.
Goodness sake. Identical twins in the same college, on the same course, doing medicine. Did you, I've got to talk to your principal in a little while, but I'm interested in how the conversation comes about. Do you sit there? Are you clapping for your carers? Are you looking at somebody around you who's perhaps suffered from COVID? How does the conversation happen that ends up with you and your brother wanting to study medicine?
So I was able to see, my mother is a carer. She works in a nursing home. And I was able to see, she dealing with some people who had COVID, and people even in my workplace. I work at Sainsbury's. I can see many of them going to people who are struggling with the loss of loved ones, colleagues who left the job because some related died, and yeah.
Listen, it's a pleasure for me to speak to the both of you. Please study hard. Don't muck about. Don't let your brother put you off. Focus, and then you can come back and we can talk again. Is that all right?
Yes, sir.
God bless you. Look after yourself, Emmanuel and Eduardo. Let's talk to teacher now. I always like talking to teacher. Let's talk to Musin Ismail. Good day to you, sir.
Hi, Eddie. How are you?
Listen, I'm happy. I've made it. Well, I haven't. The young people who are now bossing me about have made it something that we try as much as possible to portray happier, more positive images of our city, because quite often the young people get portrayed in a particular way. Now, these names, I can't help but suggest to you that the particularly people of a kind of South Asian background have disproportionately been impacted by this. Did that play any part in the conversations you would have had?
I think it did to some extent, but lots of our students who live in Newham and East London originally have a desire to study the sciences or medicine. So that innate interest already stems from a very young age. But I think what they've seen on their TV screens and what they've experienced in their own neighbourhoods has really shone a light on what impact that they can have on their communities and what positive difference that they can make by being doctors. And for this year, we've had 55 students getting into medicine, which is a remarkable number for our college in Newham, and I think it was one of the highest numbers in the country. So it's great to see students who are using their academic interest to really go into a profession where they feel they can make a real difference.
Yeah, but hold on. I've been following your college for a little while, right? And it may be that we're doing this story today, but you've all for a few years now outdone yourselves with what has happened with your students. What is it about that environment which has been so fertile and allowed beautiful young brains to grow and achieve their full potential?
Can I be honest with you? Anyone that's grown up in East London has always recognised that there is a significant amount of potential amongst the young people. And I think my own experience, having lived in Newham, educated in a neighbouring borough, and then went on to work in the city, my eyes opened to what the potential was and what we needed to do to get these kids into that kind of environment. And for me, when I left the legal profession, it was simply about elevating the curriculum, saying to our young people that actually getting C grades or B grades, if that's the best you can do, fine, but we think we can do a lot better than that. And what we've seen over the last 4 years is students getting into Ivy League universities and full scholarships, record numbers of kids going in to Oxbridge. And I think this is just the start of a journey. We opened in 2014. Imagine what's going to happen in the next 10, 15, 20 years with these young people. And I think you've got two fantastic examples there of young people who will be role models for other people in Newham and East London as to what they can actually achieve. Coming from Italy, not speaking the language, and within sort of 4 years, winning places for some of the best universities in the country.
Yeah, but no, hold on. I'm also an East London boy. I was in Hackney, right?
Hackney,
and now I'm in Redbridge. I know that I walk along the streets of Stratford and I see people sleeping in the street. I know that you have people being stabbed in Westfield Shopping Centre. I know that, where I was doing stories about Wood Green, they're now about. So I understand this story better than you might think. And what I'm saying, and don't push me back because I'm giving you a compliment, that for years now I've been looking at this place and wondering how comes you are getting the results and how we can use whatever you're doing and replicate that so that we can encourage these young people who for many society is kind of dismissed to be the best that they can be. Help me to understand that. What do other people need to think about?
Eddie, I'm going to be honest with you. People have asked me this question on so many occasions and I have a simple answer, and it really is to do with expectations, culture, scholarship and ethos. And I keep saying to people that, look, I'm not doing anything different apart from having higher expectations, pushing up the curriculum, and I believe in these young people. So I'm not setting the bar low. I'm actually pulling it higher and saying to these guys, look, I'm sorry, but you need to come to our level. This is the page we're on, and you need to get on it. And if you're not, then we're going to drag you kicking and screaming. And I think that message has got through to the kids, and they're believing in that. But I think for too long it's been, oh, look at these kids from Newham, or look at these kids from deprived areas. Well, if they can get to university, it doesn't matter which one, then we've done a good job. And I'm saying that's just not good enough anymore. And the proof is in the pudding. You can see it with these kids now. They're rising to the challenge. And actually achieving, which I always knew because these were the same type of people that I used to hang with, kids I used to hang around with when I was at school. And because you were pulled in different directions, there wasn't those adults who took you by the collar and said, come on, you've got the potential, you can do it, and this is the expectation, I'm going to help you get there. And I think that's what you're seeing at the NCS.
Well, when this is over, you've paid hundreds of millions of pounds for this building that I'm in here. I guess we should get your kids to see it, to be in it and to be championed. You clearly have championed them. I'd like to say thank you to you for believing in young people. That piece of inspiration, hey? What about that?